Hi, this is George Crump, also known as George65 on Discord, on the NotePlan Discord. What I'm going to take you through today is using John Clark's excellent plugin that does project reviews. There's a really good README. All the guys do a really good job documenting the plugins, by the way. And so it does a project review. There's a project review plugin, which I use extensively. I manage a lot of different projects. So this is really critical to my workflow. So a couple of kind of basic things. I use a very basic project setup right here. In a minute, I'll show you a much more detailed one that I'm toying on switching to, but you can see here, basically, that just asked me for this is a template. So I do Command J /npn, it'll prompt me for the name of the project. It'll put it in the projects folder. It'll automatically fill this metadata, which is key to this plugin. So it's got to start with the hashtag project. I set a default review time of a week. I set the current review to today when that project is created, obviously, the start date to today, and then I set the due date to be 32 business days away from today. You could change that, all of this, of course, and sometimes, depending on the project, I go in and just manually change that depending on what's going on. So all of that data becomes more relevant as we jump into the overall process. So let's do that. Now, what I do is I like to use the today screen as my sort of home launching pad and landing page and all that kind of good stuff. So I use this as my center hub, if you will. You can see here I've got different filters, URLs to filters already built. So I'm assuming that you might know that you can do a copy link of a particular filter and have access to that. I like to have that. So anyways, if I click on this one, for example, this shows me all of my flag tasks. If I click on this one, it shows me all my upcoming deadlines, things like that. By the way, I use a combination of Clay Russell's Spark theme and as much code that I could steal from John Clark for his to kind of finish things off. So for example, one of the things is I don't have to, these aren't hot anymore, so I can go in and edit them. These are the daily habits tracker. And you can see here, I have that automatically built into my daily note. You can see I'm kind of doing pretty good with stuff lately. Automatically plugs in the weather, all that kind of stuff. But we're not here to talk about my daily note. Let's talk about doing a project review. In another video, I'm going to go through Dave's excellent task review plugin that I also use as well. But this one, we're going to focus on project review. So let's click here. It'll generate a project list. What's really great about this now is it pops it into its own window, which then I just kind of slide over to the left. So I can see what's going on here. I can see what's going on there. Before, you had a series of commands you had to do, and they're still there. But now it's so much easier with this and so much more data that's really relevant to me. So like you can see, I got a lot of projects that haven't started. I just recently started with a new company. And so I'm building out my projects associated for that. I'm a chief marketing officer. And you can see some things I'm making some progress on. As you saw from my project template, at least for right now, I'm not building out a complete thorough task list, partly because, again, it's a new company and I don't know what's going to hit me. But you'll see in a second, I have a project actually that I'm working on to build out a detailed list, and I'm kind of going back and forth on whether or not I'm going to do that. But anyway, so just a quick tour here. I'm going to start at the bottom up. This is obviously your list of projects. The leftmost side has the status of those different projects. So you can see I've got some work to do. When the project name, of course, this is all hyperlinked. So if I need to, I can go directly to one of those projects. when the next review date is. You can see the ones that are overdue are kind of highlighted, at least in my screen, in purple. And then what the due date is on this different thing. So you can see like this one, that's my Q2 marketing budget. I think I just didn't update it. It's because it's all done and approved. So anyways, and then as I go up here, you can see that it gives me a summary of all the different projects. Right now I have 26. If you watched the old video, I have a lot more than that actually, and this will build over time, which isn't necessarily a good thing. And I got 12 ready for review. I don't use areas. There's an areas section for this, or this plugin supports the concept of areas. If you're into it, you can take advantage of that as well. All right. So anyways, this obviously will refresh this list. By the way, great job with the little tooltips here that you've got as you click on these different buttons, which is great. I mean, John, very professional job, I got to say. This is like a standalone software, basically. So anyways, now we can come over here to starting the reviews, which is really what this is all about. Again, this was before a series of Command J / review, and which was great at the time, but this is just amazingly a step forward. So anyways, I'll hit start reviews. So you can see here, first project comes up for review. There's the lead workflow. Again, one of the things I love about NotePlan, this actually started as a note because I was just kind of randomly thinking about some stuff. And then I said, I'll just make this into a project, right? And so I just threw some tasks in there. I added the metadata that the plugin needs. So I have a separate text expander snippet that drops this stuff in case this happens on the fly, which does tend to happen occasionally. And so anyways, I've got this. I'm in pretty good shape here. I think I like where I am. I've got tasks defined. All's good. So I'm going to mark this one as reviewed. And so I should note that you can mark it as reviewed and stay with your current projects in case you wanted to like do some more work on it or whatever, or you can mark it as reviewed and move on to the next one, which is what I'll do here. There's my Q2 marketing budget that I know I'm complete on now. I've got some, but I've got some additional action items to do here as far as doing all that. So I'm actually going to change the due date. Give me a little bit more, well, maybe not that long. Give me a little bit more time to manage that. So I'm going to mark that as reviewed and moved on to the next one. So here's another one, and again, this sort of gets pretty obvious, but what I'm looking for as I go through these reviews is, well, really actually things like this, right? If you look at this project, I don't have anything dated here, which is a bit of a problem. So I need to actually get this done. So complete write-up of engagement plan. I like to put when I remember, I like to put my tags in between the pipes thing. So we'll do task / review. Try to get that done on Monday. All right, so that's that. So again, boom, plugin just paid for itself, right? Because I would have missed that had I not had this type of review capability. I've actually done that, so I can kill that. So now this is great, and I'll hit finish review and move on to the next one. And so again, you don't need to go through all my projects, but gives you an idea of how this works. And how I use the tool. So again, everything's good here. This is my project where I'm building out a much more complete, like every little step is built in here. It uses another plugin by John to go ahead and post date these. If I decide to go this route, I will do a video on how I use that.